Right, so for today, we are going to look at the second lesson for speaking component, which is the expression for starting, continuing, and ending a conversation. Right. Tips on getting started. So before you start your conversation, you might want to consider to observe the person that you want to speak to. It's either maybe you would like to observe the appearance, the mood, or etc. And then you can introduce yourself to that person. Do not forget to make eye contact with that person and position yourself at a comfortable distance. So do not sit too close to that person as it might make the other person feeling uncomfortable. And then starting a conversation. Mostly we start a conversation in one of these four ways. These are only few examples that you might want to consider. So the first one, you can start with asking a question. For example, excuse me, do you know what time is it? Or commenting on something in the environment about the weather, the buildings, or etc. And maybe you can start with a common expression that you most people use, which is giving a general greeting. For example, hi Melissa, or hey Melissa, how is it going? Or good morning Melissa, good afternoon, good evening, etc. And the last one that you could start your conversation with is by making a personal remark. For example, I really like your hair, the cut suits you. Or I really like your shoes, where did you get it from? Right? Okay, moving on. After you have start with the conversation starter, so you can start choosing topics to further your conversation. So try to find a topic that you have in common with your conversation partner. So let's say if you find out that your conversation partner has a cat and you have a cat too, so maybe this is the time to show your cat photos in your phone to break the awkwardness and um, make your discussion further. All right, so small talk helps with this. So basically, small talks. Small talks is a polite exchange used. Small talk is a conversation to pass the time or to share the non-essential information. Basically, it functions to break the awkwardness between you and the other person. Right? And then you can also get the other person to talk about themselves first. So you may ask, are you from this area, or what brings you here today? And determine if you have enough time to fully discuss a topic before you move further to another topic. Right. Remember, try to avoid sensitive subjects like religion, politics, money, appearance, weight about the looks. And then the heavy subjects about the death, war, disease, and then the gossip, and the last one, the controversial issue, for example, about the abortions or divorce. So you might want to consider avoiding all these subjects as you are not in their shoes. So, and you rarely know this person. So yeah, try to avoid that. Okay, and then moving on further, continuing. So after a few minutes, you have been talking with that person. So it's time to take turns, so to make sure that the conversation is a two-way conversation. It's not that you are short sendiri, talking, only you are the one who's talking. So you might want to listen to your partner instead of worrying what to say next, or what instead of worrying which subject that you would like to change. So try to listen to your partner and show that you are listening by nodding and making a good eye contact with that person. And when they appear to be finished talking, wait a few seconds before responding, because maybe your conversation partner have additional points that he or she would like to let you know. And try to ask the other person's view on the situation and topic as well. So this is a way of making a two-way conversation. And then talk less and encourage sharing of ideas. So yeah, that is turn taking. Okay, continuing. So sometimes a conversation can start to fade after a few minutes as your conversation partner is losing interest towards the topic. So this is the time to change the subject. So if you want to change the subject or the topic of the conversation, let the other person know. So you can use all these phrases. For example, so you mentioned earlier that you have moved to a new place. So how is it going? So maybe that is one of the expression that you can use to change the subject. And after about 10 to 15 minutes, try to check whether your conversation partner is still interested to continue talking or not. So check their physical and verbal reactions to your topic. And be aware of time. There may be signals that it is time to end the conversation. For example, he or she might be looking at the watch for a few times while talking to you. So maybe he or she is in a rush to go somewhere else or got something else to do. And these sorts of expressions down here show that you are being considerate of your conversation partner's need. So try to check regularly whether your conversation partner is okay with continuing the conversation or not. And then the last one would be ending a conversation. If your partner seems like they still want to talk, but you got something else to do, or you need to go somewhere else, explain properly why you have to leave to that person. And then use a closing phrase that signals you need to end the conversation. For example, I enjoyed talking to you, or it was nice to see you again. Hopefully I can see you again, or etc. So these phrases shows that these phrases might make them feel appreciated too. So it looks like you appreciate the conversation with that person. All right. So with that, I think that's all for expression for starting, continuing, and ending a conversation. So hopefully you are able to apply all of this into your speaking assessment in order for you to complete the speaking assessment. All right. I think that's all. Thank you.